If I had a nickel for every time there is a From Software gothic horror game that is being launched exclusively on a Japanese owned console, I would have two nickels, but it's crazy it's happening twice. We're in 2026. This is the year that the Duskbloods from Software is supposed to be launching on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, this was originally announced back when the Switch 2 was announced officially. It was part of the lineup. It was really the big game, the big third-party game that was announced. That's like, oh my gosh. So we're coming out swinging. And since then, we've heard nothing. I'm pretty sure the last time we saw something official was it was included in like a 2 second little sizzle reel that was done with a bunch of other Nintendo games at the Game Awards back in December. And all it was is, this game is coming to Switch. That was it. It was just one little snippet video that we'd already seen, and it just moved on to a whole bunch of other games in the lineup. So there's a rumor that next week we might be seeing a Nintendo Direct or somewhere around the 7th, somewhere, something like that, and that it's definitely possible that we see more information about this game. This is the next Miyazaki directed FromSoft game. So this is what he's officially moved on to 100% after Shadow of the Erdtree. Allegedly, this game has been in some level of development since 2019. So they started on it when they finished Sekiro, and it's been, in development since then. We don't know at what point it became a Switch 2 exclusive, if it was always intended to be on the Nintendo platform, and then maybe it was pushed back for the release of the Switch 2. We have no idea. But this is a online multiplayer PvP PvE game. A lot of the details are still kind of like confusing. Like, I just need to I need to see gameplay. I need to see what exactly we're working with. But it sounds intriguing. And one of the big controversies with this game is, of course, the fact that it is a Switch 2 exclusive. Now, we do know FromSoft owns the IP for this game, and what they might be able to do with that in the future, do spin-off games. Is this game even fully exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, or is it more of a timed exclusive? We really don't know. We're just kind of, waiting to see how that all turns out. My biggest concern with this game is performance. How will this game perform on the Switch 2? It would also be very ironic if we got two games that are gothic horror from Software on Japanese platforms locked at 30 FPS. And my biggest reason for the concern is we know that the Elden Ring port, last we heard, it's now in kind of like an indefinite delay, but last we heard was locked, no performance mode, but locked on 30 FPS. That was the max you can get out of it on the Nintendo Switch 2. Will Duskbloods be different? Since it's being made, as far as we know, exclusively for the Switch 2, will it be better optimized? Can we get 60 FPS out of it? I am hoping, I am begging for that to be the case. Now, art direction looks very, very good. It looks, again, FromSoft, I don't think has made a bad game when it comes to art direction, and they seem to be doing it again. So I'm hoping that none of that gets lost in the hardware downgrade that is the Switch 2. Again, I love the console, but it's not a PS5. It's not even an Xbox Series X in terms of performance. So what are they actually able to get out of the console? I'm very interested to see. But again, my biggest concern is frame rate as well as just online functionality. We are combining two companies that are notorious for their horrendous online functionality. I remember trying to play Smash Bros back in the day online, and input delay was so bad. It was so crazy. And I'm sure they've gotten better with their stuff on the Nintendo side, but it's still, from what I've messed with it, again, like the eShop, it runs so much better. You can actually get into it in seconds instead of like minutes like you did on the Switch 1. So I am hopeful that going forward, their online presence will be better. Apparently, they've invested a lot into this. This may be one of the big reasons why they wanted this game, is to have a game to push the online offerings that they have beyond just their classics lineup that you can get with higher tiers of the subscription. On the other side, we have FromSoft, also notorious for very questionable online offerings. I still have issues with matchmaking at times on Night Rain. I'd say, generally speaking, I don't have connectivity issues on Night Rain. But again, like sometimes you'll get in the queue and you'll just sit. You'll sit and sit and sit. And I don't think it's a lack of people playing, because then I will unready and then re-ready up again, and then in seconds I'll get a match. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just a queue thing, but again, even their previous titles have just had, again, very questionable online offerings. So we're combining these two companies together with an pretty much, as far as we know, online only game, coupled with the fact that it's on a underperforming console, that we don't know what the current frame rate of that game is going to be. Again, my biggest concern for this game and my biggest question mark going into it is it going to be good? I think it's going to be probably great coming from Miyazaki. Is the art direction going to be good? We've already seen clips of it. It looks phenomenal. My biggest concern is performance. What will this game run at, and will the online connectivity be decent? I also have another gripe as far as like Nintendo not including Discord on the Switch 2. So you either have to go through their online service for talking to people through like a headset, or what I'm going to probably end up doing is running the AirPod in one ear and then the TV audio on the TV in order to play the game, which sucks. I don't know. It really does irritate me that they've not, as far as we know, aren't even working on getting Discord on the Switch 2. Instead, they want people to use their service. I've not tried it yet. I probably will once this game comes out, but I would still just prefer to use Discord, and it's unfortunate that as of right now, that's just not even on the table. But regardless, all of these are big question marks, and they're not even things I have answers for. Hopefully we'll get answers soon, maybe within the next week or so. But out of everything, every question that I have for this game, it is performance. What does this game look like? I guess we'll just have to see. But I swear, if we get another game that's locked at 30 FPS from FromSoft, I think I might break. I think I might collapse. I would hope that that's not the case, and that it's better optimized than allegedly what the Elden Ring port is. Only time will tell. And again, I would love for this game to not be an exclusive. I would much prefer to play this game on the PS5, which is where I've played and platinumed many of the previous FromSoft games. That's another thing. I can't platinum this game. There's no achievement system on the Switch 2. There's none of that, which I'm kind of a little sad about. Like, I won't be able to do that. I was hoping this game was going to be a March release. I don't think that's the case. I think at earliest we see it in the summer, maybe fall. But again, I think it will be a very good game. I think it will be a game that is very well made, probably very fun to play. I just have those performance concerns, and will that dampen the overall experience of what otherwise would be a phenomenal game? I really hope it's not, and this game could come out swinging, and it's just absolutely just, one of the best online multiplayer games that's come out recently. It's completely possible. There's just so many variables with this. I don't see a lot of people talking about that angle, because I think this game has been buried so much in the why is it a Switch 2 exclusive kind of situation. And look, we know there's another FromSoft game probably coming out later in the year, or maybe at the beginning of 2027 at this point. And Miyazaki has said himself that they are working on more single-player games, more of their traditional games. So it's not like they're abandoning that. But, we are in this kind of like interesting period where their two back-to-back releases are going to be multiplayer games. They're going to Night Rain and the Duskbloods. And I think that's very interesting. And I'm glad to see them experimenting, because I think all of this is going to carry forward into their single-player games, to where you're going to have more functionality for multiplayer within those games. I would love to see a more seamless co-op experience within their Souls games as a result of this, where you're able to play a lot of the game together. It's interesting. I'm not really a big fan of Lords of the Fallen. But me and a buddy of mine, we were doing like bosses back to back. Like we were doing, started a run in that just for fun, just to do it, because you can't do it normally in Elden Ring or Dark Souls or anything like that. You have to get mods for that. And while we were playing on PlayStation, it's not really an option. Something like that to where you can do those runs with your friends natively on the game would be phenomenal. I would love that. And I would hope that what they're learning from these two ventures, they then carry over into maybe something like that in the future. But I guess we'll see. But that's just kind of my thoughts on the Duskbloods. Again, stuff that I don't see a lot of people talking about in terms of performance, because everyone's like, oh, I can't believe I gotta get a Switch too. And you know what? That's part of the thing too. As much as, I hate to say it, this is a console seller. This is a game that Nintendo probably put up a hefty sum to make sure this was an exclusive, so that people who are FromSoft players, they know are diehard fans, will go out, spend $450 plus on a console to then have the game to play. Will it be worth it? If you are someone who doesn't have a Switch 2, I would hold off, wait for reviews, see what people are saying, and then, bite the bullet if you really, really want to. This could be a game that's like, 20, 30 hours, and then I move on, or it could be a 100+ hour game. No idea. We'll just have to see. But that's kind of my thoughts on Duskbloods. Hopefully we get more information soon. Be sure to subscribe, like this video. Again, I'm trying to put out more content here. I'm really enjoying this. Go follow on TikTok as well. I post a lot of stuff over there. And yeah, I love talking about these games. I love talking about FromSoft. So this has been a really fun format for me. So yeah, be sure to do all those, and I will catch you guys next time.